Hey guys, Jason here with Roar 3D Solutions. I am excited to announce a new product that is just coming out. It is the Falke SF28, which is a motor glider designed for a specific purpose, which will be featured as a actual flyable aircraft in Condor 2 flight simulation. So if you are a flight sim enthusiast, you'll definitely want to check this file out because you can own the file that you'll be able to fly in. I'm also excited because this is actually the first file I have made that has a true proper UV map, very clean hierarchy organization. So I'm going to talk through what we got here. So here it is rendering out a little bit. But if we come in, it is a rigged model specifically for Cinema 4D, so I have to be very clear about that. It is not rigged for Autodesk or 3D Max or Maya. It is specifically for Cinema 4D. So if you're interested in this file and you need it rigged for a different program, I can't help you there. But if you're a Cinema 4D fanatic like myself, then this is going to work out great for you. So we have a couple of features, so I'll just kind of walk through. It's very generic and simple actually, because there's not a whole lot going on here. So here's the Espresso, and here are all the controls that I've thrown in for the different features, and we're going to talk through what we got. So normally, like always, we have our level of detail in the editor. I only allow you to go up to a level detail of 2 because it starts to really bog the editor down. I recommend leaving it at 0 if you're using this for any kind of normalcy. The original low resolution model was half the polygons that you see here, so this is already a subdivision of 1. However, this model is actually only 40,000 vertices. A lot of effort has gone into making sure that it is low polygon, low vertice, so it can be used in a simulation. Okay, so in your editor, as usual, leave it at a 2 or higher. You can drop it down to 0 and the output is okay. When you actually do your render, you'll get still a fairly decent model, and that was intentional. So subdivision level rendering of 1, since we're in the editor, we'll do 1, is still going to be a very clean looking model because it has a fairly high polygonal count once you start adding that subdivision in. So we have proper RPM like always, but one of the things I've added in here is a little normal and feathered control for our constant speed props. So all of you out there that like constant speed props, you now have this neat little control. It will function while you're spinning, and as normal, your prop only spins when the timeline is running. So keep that in mind. If you don't run the timeline, the prop won't spin. And again, as you can see here, it will actually adjust the pitch as the animation is running. So you can just key mark all these points and bring it to where you want it. And I do say RPM, and I apologize about that. That's not true. That is a false statement. But the Espresso, to get the math in there, to get it proper to actual RPM, I wasn't terribly worried about. If you're using a motion or physical blur, you'll actually be able to achieve a physical blur with using this control rig. As always, you have your roll for aileron, so left and right. They are correctly signed. Same thing with your elevator. I want to make sure I get in here because we do have a trim tab, and what I've done is I've made sure the trim tab follows the elevator as it normally would, so it should stay level as the elevator adjusts. And in addition to that, you have your actual trim tab control, so it's a subgroup to be able to do that. So it should be a nice clean hierarchy there. And then of course you have your rudder control, and with your rudder control, if you look a little bit closer, you actually have some cables in here that are mapped to follow the actual arm of the cable assembly for the rudder. So and then of course we have spoilers, and they just kind of pop up and down. And I've taken the time to make sure that certain things are just textured instead of running through an entire ridiculous polygonal count. So you have your hinge that's just a texture on the wing and a little bit of a feathered coloration for where the actual spoiler is at, and it just gives a little bit of added dynamic and effect when it's open and closed. Is all it's doing. It's kind of an ambient inclusion, if you will. And then, of course, last but not least, your canopy swings open, and if we take a look inside here, this is where the magic is. So I've spent a lot of time making sure that this is all functional for you. So if you are an enthusiast and you want an aircraft that you want to be able to truly manipulate the controls, and you want to be able to show how certain things work, all of these controls, let's see if I can reload these textures so that they'll, yes, I want to do that, so that they'll kind of kick in. The beautiful part is that you can use all of the dials in here. And sorry, they are 8K textures, so they're very high quality textures, and they are also a little on the large side. So included with this package, you'll also have the opportunity to use the 2K pack, and it just reduces your resolution, fourfold. So every single one of these controls, though, has a needle or a dial that is adjustable. On the Baro, I have a Baro card for your altimeter setting that you can adjust. On the right here on our turn and slip indicator, I actually have the ball that you can actually sit there and script and adjust. I mean, I've tried being as accurate as I could about all this, so it's a really nice, neat thing. And let me fix this because I realized that is not exactly what we want. Boom, there we go. So all of these dials are UV mapped so that you actually can run a Hobbs meter or an engine meter on everything as you see fit. So just kind of a fun thing. And then of course, we have the normal rig controls. So you have your flight stick. So whenever you're pitching, the flight stick will move along with roll, and of course the rudder. And everything has character constraints and aims so that it can try and follow a true track. And you have the same for front and rear of the cockpit. And a lot of time was taken also to make textures, decent looking textures for the interior cockpit of this. And then you have, your slightly different rear dash setup. So this is a very exciting model. I definitely want to thank Pascal, who has helped me kind of work on this project from the beginning. In fact, one of the nice things about this is included in this are going to be 2 liveries. So you have what I call the modern color right here. And then our other livery is actually going to be, and I'm just going to bring it over here so you can see. So it's going to be this texture, and that's still good. And you'll get this livery as well, which is actually the aircraft for the gentleman that I designed the aircraft for from the beginning. So two options in terms of what kind of liveries you want to use. And additionally, I decided this time, because I wanted to actually do this correctly and properly UV map everything, you actually will have a template now that you can sit there and create your own paint scheme. And with that, I will have several different add-ons. There's an overlay that you can use with the wing ribbing textures that are already built in. So if you see here, these are all just textures instead of actively building in the wing ribs. So you can overlay any colors or any paint schemes that you like and just apply it right to the aircraft. And you have a very simple reflection texture to make life easy. And that's about it. So very simple setup here. I have 3 textures plus 1 material. So you have your fuselage texture, you have a dash and placard texture, you have a gauge texture, and then you have your cockpit texture. And with the cockpit texture, actually I should show you, there is a separate cockpit texture for the this livery. So it's actually kind of an orange interior bracing. It gives it kind of a nice appeal. So that's where we're standing with this model. This model will be available on cgtrader.com, or you can go to my website, roar3dsolutions.com, and you'll be able to get this for a very discounted rate. I offer models for 50% discount when they are first released. Highly encourage you look into that, and there will be a link in the description. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoy this, and looking forward to making more airplane models. Happy modeling.